What's up, guys? My name is John, and I recently returned from exploring French Polynesia, and I want to share with you my favorite places and islands. So here's my French Polynesia top 10. Located in the Pacific Ocean, French Polynesia is home to over 1,000 different islands. From the towering mountains of Moorea to the overwater bungalows in Bora Bora, French Polynesia is the true definition of paradise. Tahiti and Teahupo'o. In French Polynesia, you'll first fly into Tahiti's international airport. Tahiti is the largest island in all of French Polynesia, and when we arrived, I was just blown away by the size of it. The mountains are huge, with the highest reaching 2,241 meters. There's a road that loops around Tahiti's coast, and I just loved driving on it and marveling at the incredible beauty of this island. One place I really wanted to go see on Tahiti was Teahupo'o. It's this little town located about 2 hours' drive from the airport. Now, Teahupo'o is home to one of the world's best surf waves. The combination of the swell and the uniquely shaped reef creates what some believe to be the heaviest wave on Earth that can reach over 7 meters high. One thing that I thought was interesting about Teahupo'o is that it's scheduled to host the surfing competition for the 2024 Paris Summer Olympics. Now, the wave was first surfed in 1985 by local Tahitians, and over the years has become known worldwide for having one of the most consistent barrel waves. I drove to this little parking lot in Teahupo'o, and I could see the wave from the shore, but I think the best way to experience the wave, besides surfing it, is by going on a boat tour. I wish I would have planned ahead better and booked one, but if you do go on a tour, you'll be able to get up close and personal with the world-famous wave. After Tahiti, we're going to head over to the neighboring island of Moorea, known as the Pearl of French Polynesia. Moorea, bathed by the sea, is one of the most stunning places I've ever visited. We stayed here for 4 nights, and it was absolutely amazing. To reach Moorea, we took a ferry from Tahiti. We opted for the slower ferry, where we could embark with our rental car, and it took about 45 minutes to reach Moorea. Upon arriving on the island, there's an abundance of activities to do here. I believe Moorea is home to some of the most spectacular mountains. They are so imposing and unique. My favorite was called Mount Moorea, which translates as the Shark's Tooth. It rises 880 meters above sea level, and I completely understand why it's named that, with its sharp and rigid appearance. Another peak that impressed me was Mount Rotoai. You can get an incredible view of it from the Belvedere Lookout, which is easily accessible by car. With all these beautiful mountains, Moorea is a great place for hiking. We did a hike to Col de Vaillard. We started the hike in Vaillard, crossed the village, and hiked through the mountain jungle until we reached the ridge. It took us about an hour to get to the top, and we were rewarded with a breathtaking 360-degree view of Moorea, along with some imposing and jagged mountains. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I have to admit, it was one of the hottest and most humid hikes I've ever been on, but it was absolutely worth it. If you prefer beaches, one of my favorites was the public beach Ta'ahiamanu. It's a really peaceful beach, with sailboats and stunning scenery all around. It's also a perfect spot to watch the sunset. Another fantastic activity you can do in Moorea is to take a boat tour. We went on a tour and, unfortunately, it was very rainy, but it was still an amazing experience. We swam with blacktip sharks and ventured outside the reef to swim in the deep ocean. I mean, I was amazed at how warm the water was. If you visit here from August to November, you can swim with humpback whales. I definitely plan to come back during that time to swim with those gentle giants. Moorea offers so much, and I intend to make a separate video of this incredible island. Maresas Islands and Nuku. Afterwards, we'll head to one of the most remote places in French Polynesia, the Maresas Islands. A special thanks to my friend Rob for sharing his footage of these islands. He spent some time here capturing some of the most incredible moments from this remote destination. He made a great video about his time on the Maresas Islands, which I'll link in the description below. Comprising 12 islands, of which only 6 are inhabited, you can reach the Maresas Islands by taking a flight of about 4 hours from Tahiti. I would say the Marquesas Islands are very different compared to the other islands in French Polynesia. They don't have many sandy beaches, but rather rocky, rugged islands that remind me a lot of Hawaii. The largest island in the archipelago is Nuku Hiva. One of my favorite places there is the beach at Hatiheu Bay. It has impressive rock formations that provide an incredible setting. Another one of my favorite islands in Uapu in the Marquesas Islands is indeed a breathtaking destination with its iconic rock spires and stunning coastal scenery. Known as the Cathedral Island due to its towering spires, it offers a truly unique and remote experience in French Polynesia. The traditional dances against the backdrop of these majestic rock formations must have been a sight to behold. Exploring the coast with its massive sea cliffs rising straight out of the sea adds to the awe-inspiring scenery of the island. It sounds like a place straight out of a movie indeed. If you're seeking a more off-the-beaten-path adventure, visiting the Marquesas Islands, especially Uapu, is definitely worth considering. Bora Bora is probably the most renowned, and after visiting it, I completely understand why. The geology of Bora Bora is pure perfection. There's the primary island with its towering, dormant volcano, and then it's encircled by this reef that shields the island from the waves of the Pacific Ocean. Within the reef, there's a lagoon, which is habitat to some of the world's clearest water and is teeming with wildlife such as sharks and rays. I mean, seriously, Bora Bora couldn't be more perfect. To reach Bora Bora, we flew into Tahiti, and then from there we took a brief 50-minute flight and landed on Bora Bora. The airport here is on a motu, which is a small island on the reef. So to get to the mainland, or the resorts, you'll take a ferry. We were staying on the mainland, so we hopped on the ferry, and then we made the quick 15-minute boat ride to Vaitape. It was a pretty surreal ride. As we approached the island, we got on top of the ferry, and the views were just incredible as we got closer to Vaitape. There was even a full moon, and it almost looked artificial given how perfect everything was. When it comes to lodging on Bora Bora, the most renowned resorts are situated on the islands or motus that surround the reef. The resorts on the motus are certainly the most scenic and offer incredible experiences and views of Bora Bora, but they are also the most costly and were beyond my budget for this trip. Maybe next time I'll stay at one of them, but if you're seeking for a more affordable accommodation, I'd suggest looking for places on the mainland. There are some luxurious resorts, such as the Intercontinental Lemoana, which costs about half the price of the resorts on the motus. We wanted to see Bora Bora from the ocean's perspective, so we spent our last few nights on a sailboat. We stayed with this family that has been sailing around the world for 5 years, and they took us around to some of the best places inside Bora Bora's lagoon. I mean, it was like we were staying in a bungalow, except we could go somewhere new each night and experience Bora Bora from all perspectives. My favorite place we sailed to was in Bora Bora's southwest lagoon. I've been wanting to come here for a while now because there's this sandbar in the water that creates this perfect curve, and the contrast between the blues of the shallow and deep water is just absolutely mesmerizing. There's definitely no shortage of shades of blue in Bora Bora and French Polynesia in general. While we were here, we had to go do some snorkeling, so we hopped on our dinghy with our captain Francesco, and he took us to the spot to go diving. We first found this eagle ray that was just gliding through the current. It was so serene to watch. We then went over to this shallower area, and there were at least 10 sharks. They were black tip sharks, and they're about 1 to 2 meters in length, and they're basically harmless to swim with. Just very curious little creatures. The water was some of the clearest I've ever been in, and there's also tons of colorful fish just swimming around us. It's the Bora Bora that I was hoping to experience. Later that evening, we returned to our boat and had one of the most beautiful sunsets of the trip as the sun sank over the mainland. I just can't believe the beauty of these islands.